Now, the next stage is the zone preference. Well, you need to understand one thing. If you are not filling your home state, I mean, like, I've just taken a sample tab from somebody. You need to understand that if you are, say, from MP, and if you have not given zone 3 as your first choice and MP as your first choice, it definitely would attract a question. So you should be ready with the sufficient explanation as why you didn't fill MP and Chhattisgarh. Now in this case, you see, you got MP. Why I'm saying this? Because just 20 years back, Chhattisgarh and MP were together. They were just one big Madhya Pradesh. So if you are not given 1 as MP and 2 as Chhattisgarh, they might ask why if you are interested in MP, why not Chhattisgarh? Or per se, if you have given second preference to zone 3, then the question might come that why you don't want to go to your home state. So in case you do not want to go to your home state, you should have a ready answer. And you need to understand point 1 to point 5. Based on that, you have to decide about your home state. You should be very clear. It also includes where you did your studies. That also can give you, actually that also gives you a chance to decide about your home state. So you should be very clear why have you chosen that particular preference as your first choice. Questions are asked. So for me, it was asked, why have I given, I'm from Jharkhand. It was asked why I didn't put Bihar as my first choice. Why Jharkhand as a first choice? Although my parents are from Bihar, and when I was in school, the state was bifurcated. I told them that I never stayed in Bihar. I could not connect myself with Bihar. I did all my schooling in Jharkhand, so I'm aware about Jharkhand, and naturally then the interview moved towards questions related to my state, that is Jharkhand. So you need to be very clear about that. So I'm not going to go in detail, but only one important thing, that whenever you are writing your first preference, you should be very clear about it. Same is for police, IS and IPS both. Now comes the most confusing part. Which service option should you give? The first 6 is very easy. You give IS. If you don't want IPS, you give IFS. So IS, IPS, IFS, then IRS IT and IRS Custom Excise and Indian Audit and Account Service. What about other services? Where to put them? Now, don't go by this. This is not my recommendation. This I have just taken a sample tab. Don't go by this. Now, adding a twist to that, now there are changes in IRS IT also. So now GST is with Custom and Central Excise. So there are school which says that IRS Custom and Central Excise is now more powerful and more superior service than IRS IT, because IRS IT is also devoid of the power of scrutiny. So like now those evaluations that is done by IRS officers are now faceless. You must have heard our PM saying that it was causing harassment. So now all those evaluation, IT evaluation would be faceless. So IRS IT officers are feeling that they are stripped off of some of their powers. On the other hand, Custom and Central Excise have got GST now, and they are really earning revenue for the country. So now IRS IT is third choice, and IRS Custom and Central Excise at fourth is not an obvious one. Think about it. Talk to your friends. But given the point that it is just been done, I still would say if you take my recommendation, I would still put IRS IT at third, Custom Excise at fourth position. Although it is tempting, if you get tempted to go for Custom and Central Excise at third position, you would not be at any loss. You would be happy there. Sixth choice is, of course, very obvious, Indian Audit and Account Service. I can tell you one thing, very clearly. That probably nobody would tell you, that promotion avenues of IAS and Indian Audit and Account Services are at par, because these guys manage their own promotions. Unlike other services whose promotions are dealt by DOPT, these guys manage their own. So they get JS level at par with IAS. So don't feel that this is Indian Audit and Account Service and the top boss is is always IAS officer. Doesn't mean that your rest of your career is meaningless. No. Before you reach to the secretary level or the top post, there are other revenues also that I'll be talking about. So how exactly, once your top 6 is decided, what about the other services? How to decide about that? You might be going to seniors and somebody would say that particular service is good. Somebody would say, oh, this corporate law services, this is quite fascinating, go for that. Or somebody would say that now the India's trade is booming and you should go for trade services. Somebody would say that Indian information service, because you get posting in Doordarshan or maybe cabinet secretariat, you go for Indian information services. Should that be a parameter to select about your career choices, which is going to last for minimum 30 years? No, that should not be the way. Let's try to understand how to choose your services. This I've already talked about. What next? So let's try to understand the career progression. This everybody understands when they get into service. This is what I am telling you now, so that you can understand what exactly is going to happen once you get selected. Initially you get posted in junior scale, you stay there for 4 years, then you get promoted, you go to senior scale, again 4 years. For IAS it becomes, they get promoted in a year earlier, so they get senior scale in 3 years. So from junior scale to senior scale they reach in 3 years, rest everybody gets in 4 years. They stay in senior scale for 4 years. Then the third milestone, that's the crucial part of your career, is junior administrative grade, what you call a deputy secretary rank. That again after 4 years, and there you stay for 4 years. Then you reach to non-functional selection grade, what you call a director rank at ministries and departments. You must be getting those notifications that post of director something is invited. That's called the non-functional selection grade. There you stay for 4 years at senior administrative grade, what you call as the joint secretary rank. So after selection, after staying for 4 years in selection grade, you reach there, and from here all those promotions are not time bound. Now it is seniority based. The first person, the first vacancy, then you reach to the higher administrative grade, or you call a HAG. At the ministry level, it is called as additional secretary rank, and then of course the apex grade, HAG plus, and then apex grade, what you call the secretary rank. Now once it is unfortunately you don't get those 6 services, so how should you be selecting other services? You should be selecting other or filling the preference about the other services based on the career progression in that particular service. Plus, one important thing that I mentioned, that this is the landmark position. This is the first major avenue or the major landmark in your career, that is called the junior administrative grade. At this rank, you get an opportunity to get into different ministries on a deputation basis, and that is called CSS, Central Staffing Scheme. So now you need to understand something. If you are into a specialized service, the avenue would be limited, but if your service has got a scope in every ministry, then your chances of getting deputation would be higher, because every ministry can take you, and they might be having different particular position. So what I was talking about, that JAG or junior administrative grade is the major landmark that is going to be in your career, and there you're going to get. It's not that you didn't become IAS or IPS or IFS, everything ends there. In every distinct services, you get an opportunity when you go for deputation, and you can really have a great career if you choose the right deputation. So as I was saying, that if your service is very specific, then probably it would not have major avenues outside your particular service, organized group A service that you would be getting. So you need to understand that after 6th number, you need to be very sure that your service is going to have a wide spectrum, like the finance services. So we will be coming to that. So you need to understand that the diversity should be there. So now that the way I said that, you're gonna how exactly would you decide that which particular service has got more diverse opportunity that you are gonna that is gonna provide to you. Now recently UPSC had issued a notification that invited application from outsiders, from private sector and from PSUs for various posts. So if UPSC is advertising or government is seeking outsider or a specialist for those particular positions, that means those positions or the areas are devoid of experts, or maybe through civil services not enough experts are coming that particular area. This also means that in those ministries or departments you have opportunities, or you may get opportunities in future. So if you get other services, if you choose your service choices wisely, probably you will be able to get into a good deputation posting, and deputation is for 5 years. So once you get go for deputation, you stay there in that particular ministry for 5 years, you come back for 3 years, that is called the cooling off period. You can again go for a different deputation. So that is very important for you to understand. Let's try to just briefly scan the notification, so that we could understand that which ministries are offering these positions. The first post is a joint secretary level, Department of Agriculture. Second one is a joint secretary position, Department of Commerce. Third one, joint secretary, Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. Fourth, again agriculture marketing, Department of Agriculture. Fifth, director aviation. Sixth, post of director in Department of Commerce. Then you have got post of director, again Department of Commerce. Then you have got 8th, again Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. 9th, Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. 10th, you have got Ministry of Consumer Affairs. 11th, Ministry of Consumer Affairs again. So you see, Department of Commerce is the majority. Let's just scan through briefly. Director level position at Ministry of Consumer Affairs. Then Department of Education, again education. 14th is education. 15th is education. 16th is financial services. You have got now 4 in education, Ministry of Education. So in case you have a service which gives you dealing with human resource or something related to education, there you'll have edge. Then you have got Ministry of Commerce, again quite related to finance, because people from finance background may get a edge, because there they will have to deal with pricing and everything related to that. Then now from position 16 onwards, Ministry of Finance, 18th in Ministry of Finance. Then comes Department of Legal Affairs, Ministry of Law and Justice, again judicial reforms, international laws. Then you have got New Technology and Highway, Ministry of Skill Development. So just try to understand the overall that we are getting is that Ministry of Finance is there, Ministry of Commerce is there, Ministry of Law and Justice is there, and then Ministry of Agriculture and Education. So if broadly we talk about, let's just go back to now all the choices that we had. We are going back to the DAF that is given to us, and let's just try to understand. We have got Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce, the kind of post that we had. Probably if you are having exposure of accounts and finance, probably you will be able to grab the major chunk. So that means once this is done, IS, IPS, IFS, IRS, custom excise, audit account, again is finance. Then we have got civil account services. Then we have, you must be having couple of account related services. So the next choice should be your account services. These are people who can go to any areas. Apart from Ministry of Finance and Commerce, they can go to education also, because they have got exposure related to finance and accounting. Then we had Ministry of Law and Justice. So in that case, we have got a unique service here, and that is related to, we have got corporate law service. So once you are done with that, all those account services, like you have got civil account services, you should go to what? You should go to corporate law services. Now we had Ministry of Commerce, and many posts are related to international trade. So we have got one more service which may suit your requirement, that is Indian Trade Service Group A. Now I am not giving you any specific preference whether you should go for account first or then corporate law or trade services, but you need to prioritize yourself. But these three should be in 7, 8 or 9, either it is a 7th or 9th position, it's up to you. But once that top 6 is done, 7, 8, 9 should be these 3 services. Now once that is done, then we have got 3 services rather, which provides you enough facilities. I mean everybody looks for facilities. Nobody nowadays are just looking for the basic salary that they get. One important service is here, that is post of Assistant Security Commissioner in RPF. Good service. You probably would not be able to get the top post, that goes to IPS, but below that you get lots of facilities. So that way it's a good service. You also can look for DANIPS, because once you are in Delhi, you will be ACP and then additional DCP and DCP. That's probably the best that probably you would be able to reach. But then lots of power, lots of position, I mean position of distinction that you get. So once we have decided 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, either you go for information service, because a couple of jobs, in Ministry of Education and Human Resources, we had openings there. So if you think that you want to go for Group A services and those posts are enticing for you, then at 10th position maybe you can go for information services. And then you have got DANIPS and Railway Protection Force. It's a good service. Since I worked in railways, so I know that's a good service. Now those IRTS and audit accounts, railway account services is gone. Had that been there, I probably would have asked you to go for railway account services above all the account services. I mean above civil account services, I probably would have suggested for railway account services. Now once that is done, one more service is of really what do you call that offers you good facilities, and that is a defense state services. So once now again, RPF is a Group A, DANIPS is a Group B. In case you are not interested in going for Group B and you want to limit yourself to Group A, then I would suggest that at par with RPF, you can go for defense state services. Maybe defense state services, then RPF and then DANIPS, or you can mix up. One more service that is there is Indian Postal Service. I didn't mention about it because I mean it was at one point of time it was kind of dying service. Now there's lots of innovation there. Postal Department is trying to project itself as a bank. Now they are like they have projected themselves as a payment bank. Lots of innovation, IT related innovations are done. They have come up with life insurance plans, and then rather than just having the traditional passbook type of system, now they have got sourced Infosys, the kind of banking core banking software that ICICI Bank is using. That's that kind of facility they have sourced from Infosys. So they are innovating, but still I'm not very sure about the future of the service. That's why I didn't talk about it, because mind you, out of these 21 services, this particular government is trying to reduce the number of services. So many services mentioned here probably would be gone in 5 years down the line. So you should always keep this in mind, that the service that you are choosing should last. The kind of service like corporate law service, it should last. Trade services, it should be there. Information services should be there, because now government is talking about curbing the OTT platforms also. So maybe information services would last. I'm not very sure about postal services. That's why I have not mentioned about it anything about it. Although there are many innovations happening there. So kind of I've given you detail. Rest Group B services I would not. In Group B services, the first is of course DANIPS, and then you can go for DANIX, and then you have got other services as well. And you have got Armed Forces Headquarters Civil Services Group B. There's a section officer that should go in the end, because section officer rank is a Group B, and that particular, out of all the Group B, that should go in the last. DANIPS and DANIX should be the first two if you are considering Group B services. So I have detailed everything about it here, and this has been my basis. This is one of the demo. There are many notifications that is issued. I chose the current one to give you a glimpse of the avenues that is available. So if you are if you are in postal service, doesn't mean that everything is done now. Your next 30 years is going to be just dull. No, it's not. Once you are in JAG, you can go for if you have enhanced your skill, you went for some couple of programs and trainings, and maybe some courses. You may go for deputation in a very good ministry, and you have seen how many, more than 30 different posts are floated in one particular notice. So there are huge opportunities available. Choose your options wisely. So this I have told you. Now you guys were asking whether you should which services should be put first. In case you have got confusion about whether IAS should be there at the first position, or IFS or IPS, you need to understand one thing. Out of all these 5-6 services, there is absolutely no doubt that IAS is number one. They are the one who reach to the JS level, Joint Secretary level first. Then comes the number of other services. IPS is a specialized services. There are there is a murmur that government is trying to get into IAS. Government is trying to bring private sector experts in IAS also. See, they can bring, but at the ground level, where the charm lies. Everybody wants to become an IAS officer to become a DM. There it will be tough to bring outsiders. So at the places where the charm lies, IAS is number one. In case you are very sure that you don't want to become IAS, then IFS is the only choice. Then you should go for the first choice is IFS or IAS. If you are going for IPS, that's a very specific, specialized service. So you should be very sure about that you want to put IFS at the first, IPS at the first position. If you are putting IRS, IT and custom excise at the first position, should have a sufficient reason for that, because they might get a hint, or they might get a perception that you probably are interested in some kind of what you call money making or something. Let me put it straight away, that your intentions are to get all those extra services facilities. Not a very good thing to start with. Don't put IRS, IT or custom excise at the first position. And that's my opinion. You can decide about that. So that's my suggestion for you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.